What's up, guys? My name is Alicia Mamacita.
And I'm Hannah.
I'm a millennial,
I'm Gen Z.
and together we are.
That my best friend.
We come from completely different backgrounds, but we have been friends for a very long time.
Oh my god, we've been friends for like almost 8 years.
No way.
That's crazy.
I'm a mom of 3.
I'm a
She
mom
does
of
not
0.
have kids yet.
0,
Yet.
maybe. I don't know, we'll see.
Nature, it'll happen.
Girl, don't wish that on me!
So, we wanted to start a podcast journey because we feel like the world is very divided right now, and we want to show that two people from two different backgrounds and completely different perspectives can still be best friends. And you don't even need to be like best friends per se, but you can still get along and you can talk about things no matter how controversial.
Well, let's first start with
Oh, of course.
our
Hello.
first. So this is a segment that we're doing, and it's kind of like our drink of the week. I don't want to say drink of the day because I don't want to sound like I drink alcohol every day.
Because we don't.
No. Today, wait, what do we have? Because you made this lovely drink for us.
So I made us a little, I don't know what we would call this.
It's like peach
but
mango juice.
Sipping on tequila and juice.
Yeah, a little bit of tequila.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the tequila talking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's our drink today. And
Our first video, we wanted to dive right in. We just got back from seeing Barbie. This was Hannah's second time seeing the movie. I had never seen it. This was my first time in theaters in general since before COVID, so it's been a really long time for me.
I felt like it was special to be a part of that experience.
It really was.
Like, I was
like,
so
I'm
happy
so
that we got
happy
to go
that I
together.
did that with you. I had been hearing like a plethora of things about this movie, ranging from, oh my gosh, it was so perfect, to like, oh, this was
Oh, it's so controversial.
yeah, like a feminist agenda.
Some people hated it.
Yeah, like, so I just wanted to see it and form my own opinion, and that's another reason that we're making this podcast, is because we really want to stress the importance of, you know, because we tend to, even if you are reading things from two different perspectives, we tend to kind of pick one of those perspectives and think like, oh, like this is what I agree with. And I am so happy that we went and saw this movie, not only because I hadn't been in the theaters for such a long time, but also because the opinions that I have formed from this movie are like just completely different from like the majority of things that I've seen online about it. So
Form your own opinions, people. I feel like stop listening to people's crap. Honestly, I went into the movie thinking that I was gonna hate it because like I'm not a girly girl.
right.
And I don't really like.
Mm-hmm.
I played with Barbies growing up, but I was a G.I. Joe girly.
Yeah.
Like I had so many brothers that I just
Mm-hmm.
it was not my thing, and so I strictly only watched it so that I could see Ryan Gosling shirtless.
Right.
So
Very talented. Like,
he's so talented. He has such a good voice.
Mhm.
He can dance. He's hot. Like I can go on. And I was like pleasantly surprised. I was really blown out of the water with how it turned out.
mm-hmm.
And watching a second time was cool because I felt like I knew the general plot and I could analyze it a little bit more. So
And you pick up on different things when
Yeah,
you watch it for a
definitely.
second time too.
Mhm.
The first thing that I want to talk about was like the first thing that I noticed when I was watching it. So I don't know if you guys know a lot of history about like the Barbie doll, but I really appreciated how the first thing right off the bat that they showed was the original Barbie in her original outfit with the original hairdo. Like
I didn't
that
even
was
know that.
so
You
that
taught
was
me
so
something.
cool to me that they like captured all of that, and they also incorporated that throughout the movie when they would like toss the outfits and it would be like, oh my gosh,
naming
like,
it out.
mhm,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I thought that was super cool, and that also just kind of feeds into like just the overall aesthetics of the movie were absolutely beautiful. But just like all the colors,
Yeah,
and
it was very vibrant. And you
Mhm.
know, something that I noticed when we were watching, both times that I was watching the movie, you know, they're in Barbie world, everything's really vibrant and bright and perfect.
Mhm.
And then it was so crazy when they, you know, go to the real world and how
Mhm.
gray the world looked.
Yes.
And depressing, and I was like,
Yeah,
yo,
I
this is
noticed
how
that
life
too.
looks in
Mhm.
like real life. But like,
Mhm.
do you know? So like, people on the internet talk about how when you were a kid, you like saw the world so much more vibrantly, like colors, whatever.
Mhm.
There's like that trend on TikTok, or whatever, where people
Mhm.
were like playing that filter over their environment, and yeah, I am convinced.
Yeah, because I feel like
think
kids are
dull.
almost like, it's almost like adults do drugs and alcohol because you want to feel like a kid again, because
True.
you become like more stimulated. Everything is just like you're more excited about every little thing, and every little thing is an adventure.
Yeah. It's because it's so new and
Right.
experiencing something for the first time, and I would go back and experience.
And you're not bogged down by, you know, societal things,
adult things. Beginning.
Yeah, definitely the aesthetics is like the first thing that you notice right off the bat.
The soundtrack.
Oh yes, we have to talk about the soundtrack. So,
Charlie XCX.
Yes, I am obsessed with Charlie XCX. So the Ken song was probably the best song, but in terms of just like a soundtrack, not the musical aspect of it, where somebody was singing like just a song playing in the background, like the Charlie XCX song.
Oh yeah, it's so hype the way it starts. Like,
and it was a good scene for them to play that song too, with them like running around and going crazy.
But I'm Just Ken has been stuck in my head. I'm not even kidding. I listened to the soundtrack on my Apple Music, and it's just, I don't even know why. I can't help but sing it.
I'm just Ken.
Anywhere else I'd be a 10.
And that's kind of, that touches on a topic that, like, now we're going to start to delve into the more controversial stuff. So there's the perspective of, you know, some people are saying, like, oh, this movie is just like a liberal agenda, and it's about, you know, putting men down and female power and blah, blah, blah. That theory falls through because that Ken song, I feel like, was like one of the most epic moments of the whole movie. And the fact that that's like what sticks with you, it's kind of like, okay, well, the man is coming out on top, if that's what sticks with you, like the male part of the movie.
But even then, I feel like the lyrics of the song are like him discovering himself, and also the main, you know, thing is I'm just Ken. He's not like saying anything. I don't know. I think it's stuck in our mind so well because of the performance aspect.
Right, and like, Ryan Gosling.
He really did kill it. Like, he was doing the dances, and you know, just the vocals were really good. I think all of that together is what like stuck with me, because it was a pretty climactic part of the movie. It was like a transitioning period. And
I think that no matter how you identify, like, the Ken song was what anybody could relate to, and the whole, like, his shirt that said I am Knuff, like, I'm enough.
I need that.
Yeah, we need to get those shirts, seriously.
They release on October 10th. Like, Mattel has their own website, and they're literally dropping those exact sweatshirts, but they're $60. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for, like, a better,
knockoff version.
Like a better as in cheaper.
More affordable.
Yeah, and just get that, because, like, it's not even something I'm going to wear like that. It's just going to literally be because
I am enough.
I am Knuff.
I am Knuff.
And also, Ryan Gosling looks so good in it. Anyways, and...
His face is not even that good looking, but because he's just such an amazing performer. Okay, enough about Ryan Gosling. We're talking about this movie as a whole.
Talking about maybe the patriarchy, the controversial opinions of it.
Yeah, okay, so where I can sort of agree with it a little bit is just like, when it got toward the end, I was just waiting for that moment where somebody could finally just have some sense and be like, look, the men aren't supposed to be on top, but neither are the women. Like, it should be an equal balance. And I just kind of felt like the whole movie was like, oh, you have to pick one or the other. You know what I mean? And it was also kind of frustrating how, when they had the Supreme Court ruling, when they said, like, oh, eventually men will build their way up in the system, and they'll, you know, just like how the women did in the real world. Like, while I understand, like, I can see the whole, it's Barbie world, it's not the real world. Obviously, that's, like, the goal was for Barbie to be on top. But at the same time, I kind of feel like that stressed the whole idea that I'm against, where it's like, okay, just because there was a wrongdoing against women in the past, it doesn't make it right for us to just turn it around and, like, flip it back on the men, you know what I mean? Because an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind is kind of how I feel about that whole thing. We shouldn't be repeating mistakes, but on the opposite end, we should be, like, equality.
Yeah.
You know?
I definitely agree. But I also personally think that it's not really I think the symbolic meaning behind the movie is to flip the script. Anybody, well, I know there's people out there that actually want that, but I think like the logical, level-headed people nobody wants there to be inequality on either end. And I really personally liked the perspective that the movie brought. Like, the world that we live in is definitely a man's world. I mean, it just is. And the fact that, like, there's Barbie world and women are basically the men, you know? I think it's just supposed to help people gain perspective of what we actually live in today.
Right.
Because unfortunately, I don't know in our lifetime if we will ever see a time when there is true equality. I would love that. I definitely don't believe in like hyperfeminism in the sense of like, I hate all men and, you know, women for the rest of eternity. But like, you know, that's extreme. Yeah. But I just thought it was interesting because I think it does help you gain a lot of extra perspective.
Cheers to that.
Cheers. This is a little strong, bestie.
Well, then you don't drink it as fast.
Girl, do y'all see that? I didn't even sip it and I just had it like a...
Girl.
You
gotta toughen up.
Girl, it's tequila. I do the lime and the salt.
But it's juicy.
No, it tastes like tequila. It is 1800 too.
We gotta try,
I'm just not breathing.
Kendall Jenner's 818. I've been wanting to try that.
I don't want to try it.
Why not?
Because it's so overpriced and like, I bet you it's the most mid-alcohol and I should not judge something before I try it. But like,
well, I'll buy it and you can try it.
Okay.
How about that? Ultimately, like, the price is probably not going to be worth it. But...
And it's like, is it actually worth the money? Because the only people that I've seen advertise that liquor is the Kardashians and the Jenners. Right. You know what I mean? I mean, I've seen like other people that are friends with them, but it's like, I want somebody real like you and me to be like, this is good, you know?
Well, that's why we gotta try it.
True, we can try it on a podcast.
Just like the Barbie movie. You can't knock it until you watch it.
That is true. My brother didn't like it.
Really?
Yeah, my oldest brother and his husband, I can't remember. I think that his husband liked it. But I know my brother did not.
Did he say why?
He just said it wasn't that good. I think that he liked the message overall, but he says that Ryan Gosling's pecs look weird.
I can kind of see where he's coming from. I think he might have been overdoing like the working out, maybe just like a touch.
It's like you're photoshopped.
If you guys didn't figure out, we've got a super fan.
No, it's not a super fan. He's just literally like the hottest person that I've ever seen on the planet. Like,
but we're not a super fan.
I'm not. Like, I like La La Land though. Anyways, this is a Barbie podcast, so we'll get back on track.
Well, I did want to talk about, I forget America Ferrera's name in the movie. She was, like, in charge of making Barbie sketches, I guess, for the company.
I can't remember her name. Amy? No. I'm remembering her from Superstore, because I don't know if you've ever seen that show, but that's where I first have ever seen that actress.
I think I've seen a couple episodes of that. What I really think of when I think America Ferrera is the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
I've never seen that. Okay, I'm not cultured, okay? No, like, you can't.
Okay, this is where the whole...
homeschool comes in.
So, no, I don't even think it's that.
No,
I think it's the 5-year difference. So
no, I think it is because I was literally so sheltered. Like, I could not watch certain things. We couldn't watch The Lion King.
Yeah. But I also feel like that was a little bit bigger for, like, when I was in whatever, middle school, elementary school, whenever it was. And then probably by the time that you were, like, old enough to be into that kind of thing, it probably wasn't as big of a thing. Do you know what I mean?
Potentially, but I also have a lot of older friends, and I watch older things.
So I know
I don't know if it's an age thing.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
I think it really is because if it depends on what it was about, but like I blame most of mine not being cultured on that.
Yeah,
because I was not allowed to watch like Harry Potter. It's like okay, all right, that's a little extreme because of magic, you know.
Yeah,
all the lame stuff. Anyways, watch Harry Potter; it's really good.
But
I have something that I actually want to bring up. So. My friend told me this because I'm not currently on TikTok anymore, but she told me how there's a bunch of guys getting on TikTok and basically hating on the movie, right? And like the reverse patriarchy and saying like, you can't treat men like this, and I think they're like missing the point. And I really realized in that moment that like I really got a good one, right? Because like my boyfriend thought it was funny. He was like, dude, this is brilliant. This is like great writing. Because it is. If you look at it, it's like, it's not, nobody is actually saying like women are better than men or whatever. It's just flipping the script, like I was saying before. Yeah. And so these guys were getting on TikTok, writing these, like, doing these whole videos, like, hating on the movie. Yeah. And then their girls went and broke up with them, and I think that is so funny. Whoa. It's like, you get, like, yourself in check. Like, I'm sorry.
I guess that's kind of what I was trying to talk about earlier, and I don't know if I fully, like, conveyed what I was trying to say. I can understand, like, why some men would be getting frustrated with that whole thing, but I don't think it was, like, to the extent that some people were kind of, like, making it out to be, because, you know, it's in Barbie land, it's not, like, in the real world.
I just think it was funny, and I think if you got offended, you need to check yourself.
Yeah.
You know, I just think that, like, you don't get it. Like, if you got offended, then you don't get it. And
that's what we were going to talk about. The America Ferrera speech. Like, yes. That was, like, one of the most relatable moments in the whole thing, was just the whole fact that women do so much, like, trying to fit this mold, or, like...
You're too thin, or you're not, you know, or just looking enough, or...
Yeah. Or just the whole, like... No matter what you do, someone's gonna find a way to pick at it, or, like, say that what you're doing is wrong. Mm-hmm. You feel like men do the exact same thing as you, and they're not held to that same standard. And I think that was, like, perfect to touch on, because that is the main thing that we're still fighting for equality on, because... For the most part, they've done away with, you know, women don't get paid as much as men. In my opinion. I don't know about you, but, like...
Well, I would never know, because pay is so hush-hush in the workplace.
Right, that's
like,
true.
I don't know what other people make in my job. I just know, like, what I make, and then I can't say anything about it to anybody else, obviously. Right. And so it just becomes one of those things where it's like, what if they are, like, doing... Yeah. Maybe even less than me. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
It's kind of like one of those moments where you have to choose to believe the positive. And... I just personally believe that we're kind of at the point where I think that most people see that it's like, that's ridiculous. Like, just, if this is your position, this is what you get, regardless of how you identify or what gender you are, you know? Mm-hmm. So, and that's all you can do, is, like, you gotta just choose to believe that. Unless you're shown evidence otherwise, because... I don't think recently there's been anything that's, like, really shown that there's, like, a striking difference. Or, like, you can't actually prove that, oh, the reason they're getting paid less is because they're a woman, you know?
So what we should all do is we should go to our jobs and talk to our coworkers about our wages and be like, I want to know how much you get paid.
What if you're a stay-at-home mom? Like, my coworkers are my children.
That's a good point.
But
you're not getting enough pay.
No, I'm not.
Just saying, moms are on
that is not a
all the time.
Yeah, exactly. That is not a 9-to-5 job. That is a 24/7 job.
Yeah, you're like, you can't even sleep without like having a human demand on you, and that's why I'm so glad I don't have kids right now, because sometimes I can't even handle my own demands. Okay,
but back to the topic at hand. Another thing that I loved about the movie was the fact that Barbie chose to be a human. Despite the fact that we go through the human struggle of constant change and constant trials and tribulations, like, she still chose that because human emotions are beautiful. It was like a refreshing reminder of, like, that we should look for the positive in every day.
I cried at that part.
Yeah, so I actually got more emotional the part when...
with the old lady.
Yes, the old lady. And
they're beautiful. I know it.
Yes, that was so cute. Like, and just,
like, the whole... I'm gonna have that confidence when I'm old.
Yeah, and I also just felt so emotional about you're playing with dolls, and then you're growing up, and then you feel like you're too cool for it, and you're too cool for your mom, and, like... I think that also hit me hard because my kids are really little right now. Yeah. And a lot of times, like I'm so stressed out because there's 3 of them and they're all so little and they're all so demanding and they just want mommy, mommy, mommy all the time. And it makes me want to rip my hair out sometimes. Yeah. But then, like, I have a moment where it's like I want to slap myself in the face because it's like...
You only get this one
Yeah, like, one day they're gonna just be like, ew leave me alone.
Mom's gross.
Like...
Don't talk to her.
Yes. Yeah. So, like... That moment where they were showing her, like, pushing her mom away, that just, like, broke my heart.
Yeah.
And then just, like, showing the old lady and just, like, the whole idea of, like, oh, this old lady probably went through, like, all of these things, too. Mm-hmm. And, like, she's lived such a long life of, like, all this craziness. And she's just sitting there, like, I'm beautiful. Mm-hmm. And, like, the human experience is beautiful. And that's what makes life worth living, is the challenges. Because otherwise, you're just... like Barbie world where it's just everything's the same all the time, and it's like, what are you really living for, you know?
Yeah.
I thought it was like a good wholesome movie. I don't think that, like, I'm just really glad that I watched it, because I don't think that it was, you know, like a super politically charged movie. Everybody, like what they were trying to make it out to be.
We told, you know? I almost said his name. My partner's parents, mm-hmm. his dad and his grandma or Nana that we went to go see Barbie, mm-hmm. and they both rolled their eyes. And I'm like, why? I don't understand why people have to make things political. It's literally just a movie.
I think that it definitely was a reflection on culture and just, like, the struggles of being a human in general.
It has nothing to do with politics, in my opinion. Like, you can make it that way if you want to, but, mm-hmm. like, again, you're missing the message mm-hmm. if you don't, like...
And just, if anybody is going to try and sit there and be like, oh, this was just a feminist movie, like, extremist trying to be like, oh, women should be on top and women should all be in power, like... Although I was kind of annoyed that they didn't stress... I mean, in a way they did. Like, they didn't fully stress the idea that it should just be equal. But it falls through because of that Ken scene, you know? That argument falls through because of that.
True.
Because it's also showing that men are enough, too, mm-hmm. you know?
Yeah, it comes full circle. And that was very interesting. Like, when mm-hmm. Ken brings back the patriarchy mm-hmm. to Barbie world, and, like, Barbie comes back and has, like, an existential crisis about mm-hmm. it. And... then, at the end of it, he was like, well, once I found out it wasn't really about horses, I kind of lost it.
That was so funny.
Yeah, it's like, it really did bring it full circle in the sense of, like, I think it really did, but mm-hmm.
I think it did, like, symbolically. Just the only thing I would change is that, like, you kind of do have to spell it out for some people, and that's why, like, some people were, like, freaking out and thinking that it was this extremist. Like, if they had kind of, like, just spelled it out for people and just kind of said, like... What was I made for? I'm just Ken. Anywhere else I'll be a 10. Is it my destiny to live and die a life of blonde fragility? I thought he was saying virginity the whole time. I really thought he was saying virginity.
Said, like, something way off.
Oh my gosh.
It's not even the tequila, because I'm not drinking it. It's too strong.
Yeah.
That's you're going to have to finish that one.
What?
It's strong.
Girl, you gotta grow a pair of balls.
I can't sip tequila like that. Also, ovaries. Thank you. Please and thank you. I think that's everything on my point. I don't know if you can think about your others.
Yeah, so I think, like... overall, I would rate the movie a 9 out of 10. The only reason I'm not giving it that 10 out of 10 is because, just like if they had spelled it out a little better about the whole equality thing, then I think it would have had less people in an uproar.
Yeah.
But maybe also that's why they didn't spell it out, is because they wanted that uproar, because it gets more people like me wanting to go and see for yourself. Like, yeah, for sure.
I actually wanted to look up something. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the success at box office. Because it did really good.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that it's still in theaters, like, when did it come out?
It came out over a month ago. When we went, it was packed. Like, it was pretty full. And I was still surprised because, like, I don't know. I figured it over a month out, like, we would be chilling in there. Like, there'd probably be a few other people, but no, it was a good amount of people in there.
Yeah.
It has done 1.3 billion globally.
Wow.
That's huge. I'm trying to make that. No, I'm just kidding.
It was also, like, a very new experience for me, too, because I live in a small town currently, and you live in, like, a big city, and, like, we went and saw it, like, where you live, and it's just, like...
You're like, people.
I know.
There's like, so many people in, like, one spot.
It was so exciting, though.
Oh, yeah, we rolled up to the movie theater. It was packed. Oh, my God. Okay, another fun fact about this little website I'm looking on. Barbie has become the highest growing movie of 2023.
Wow.
That's insane. And it will soon surpass Super Mario Bros. In worldwide gross as well. So I guess Super Mario Bros. Did a little better. Have you seen that one?
No, I haven't.
It's on Peacock. It's really good. It was nostalgic. They are preying on nostalgia. That should be something we go into later on in the future. Is the marketing behind nostalgia. It's evil.
Speaking of diving into new things, please comment, because we are very new to this, like any sort of topics that you might want us to talk about.
I just like to talk, so like I will talk about anything.
We both love talking to each other. We're women. We like to talk.
No, I'm just kidding. Oh my god, did you see that guy over there? He's like, where? No, I'm just kidding.
What's his name? Ryan Gosling.
I wish.
So, please bear with us because this is very new to us. But if you want to come along with us on this journey, please subscribe. If you're just watching this because you're watching a bunch of Barbie reaction videos and you like our response, please like the video.
Smash that bell notification button to get notifications when we post next. We don't want to commit to anything yet, but we are going to try at least to do monthly.
Yes, minimum.
Podcasts. Yeah, we may do more, but we'd rather under commit than over commit.
We also live just under 2 hours away from each other.
I get to see you like quarterly.
I know. But we're going to try and make it happen more, thanks to my lovely husband who is watching the kiddos.
Thanks, husband, for being our #1 fan and for helping us start out here. Yeah. The setup is we're working on it. We're trying to get improvements here, so it'll start to get better as we're getting the hang of it. I'm new to all of this, so. Yes,
we're new to the microphone. We're new
Isn't it so
to
cute?
Yes, the little snowball.
We have to get the 2. We have 2. It's a whole thing, but we're next episode.
We're working on it. We got
Actually,
this.
in 2 episodes, it'll be.
We got this.
Yeah, we got.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and
we'll see you guys next time.
Have a Barbie-licious time.